Hey, what is up guys? This is Ballpoint Ken, and today we're going to dive into Domino's abilities from an attack standpoint. We kind of know what her abilities are from a defensive standpoint because we fought her in Event Quest 2 months ago, and she's not quite widely available for using on attack yet, but she is in the 6 star, and she is also in some of the featured crystals that they're offering right now. But she soon will be in the basics and we'll be able to use her. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys what is up about this champion from an attack standpoint, and it is just so crazy, guys. She has so much to her. Her abilities are insane. Her damage output is crazy, and I just want to show you guys. I could probably talk about her for 30 minutes to an hour, so I'm going to try to talk fast and get through all these points really quickly, so bear with me. So we'll go over her abilities, her synergies, we'll look at some examples, then we'll just recap at the end. So check that timestamp in the comments or description, and that'll take you right to the end if you want to cut all this, but it's pretty important information to know. Alright, so first of all, her signature ability, Critical Failure. So we know this from fighting her in Event Quest. If one of your abilities fails to trigger, that's any ability, then you start taking energy damage, and it decreases with repetitive procs. And this makes her an OP defender, but it's not super important when it comes to using her on attack, but it's an added damage if you do dupe her. Alright, we'll start with the probability field. These are all passive. So at the start of the fight, opponents lose 227 critical rating, and Domino gains the same amount. So that's pretty good for just being passive. Nothing, you don't have to do anything, it's just there. So this is I think 25% of her base critical rating, so that's pretty good. Opponents lose 15% ability accuracy. This reduction has no effect against abilities that trigger at the start of the fight. So this is pretty good again for being passive. It's not danger sense, with Blade, but 15% plus some of the other ability things, it adds up, and it can be actually pretty useful. This does not affect things at the start of the fight, like Unstoppable with Juggernaut, or Unstoppable Colossus, excuse me. But still very cool. Whenever one of Domino's abilities fails to trigger, she gains 10% ability accuracy for 8 seconds. So again, this is passive. There's no buff that shows you, oh, she has more ability accuracy. But this could come in handy if you're trying to get some of these bleeds, or critical bleeds, which we'll talk about later. And yeah, it's just another added bonus. Alright, now this is what really makes Domino super insane. One of the things, just one. Domino's bleed abilities tend to strike vital points and have a chance to benefit from her critical damage bonuses equal to her critical chance. So basically what this means is her bleed damage can crit. So just like your basic damage, your basic hits can hit for critical damage, so can her bleeds be critical, which is just an increased amount of damage, which avoids resistances, and it's just really insane. We'll see some videos later of this in action. Opponents' bleed abilities tend to graze and have a 50% chance to expire after 1 second. Whenever a bleed expires prematurely, Domino is inspired and gains 10% of her maximum power instantly. So you don't want to get hit, ideally, but we all do it. It happens. So if you get hit by a Blade or Black Panther, or I don't know, some other gunshot projectile special, you could shrug off these bleeds and take a ton less damage, plus you get some power from it, and it's a 50% chance, which is actually really good. Now, all attacks. Domino uses her pistol for the first light attack, her second medium attack, and her final heavy attack. These attacks do not make contact with opponents, and we know this from fighting her in Event Quest. It was basically impossible to parry her because you would always try to parry that heavy, but her second medium was a pistol, and it just wouldn't work, and you couldn't parry her. It was a pain in the butt. But this is actually also really good for attack, and I'll show you why. Here's an example of fighting Iron Man Infinity War when he's under 15%, and then also Medusa especially. Iron Man Infinity War is just kind of a safety net, but with Medusa you can actually use it very effectively. So this is Iron Man Infinity War, auto block parry, but I'm not stunned. Here we go, this is Medusa. Again, auto block parry, not stunned. So this is really good for a lot of the Alliance War bosses that I've been fighting, trying to fight with Blade, and it's just it's possible, but it's annoying. So Domino could definitely help out with that. Now back to it. Benefit from up to 791 attack rating, selected at random, which is about 30% of her base attack. So that's pretty good. Benefit from up to 1366 critical damage, again selected at random. So that is crazy, guys. That is 150% of her base critical damage, which is insane. And again, these are selected at random, so we don't actually know how often these will come up. But based on the next line, I've been able to see that it actually comes up more often than I thought it would. So a critical hit with a maximum roll in both attack and critical damage, so getting that full 791 and 1366, will result in a perfect critical hit that inflicts stun for 1 to 3 seconds, which is just it's really cool. She does a lot of damage, and I have a little video of it here. So we're fighting Winter Soldier, which I've done a lot. You'll see it in the next couple examples. But here I go into strike. I do my special 1. There's a critical bleed, getting 1,150 per tick. And there you see the perfect hit. He's stunned. I do a heavy. He's stunned again. So 2 in a row. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, obviously, but it does happen more often than you would think. So that on top of actually getting those full attack rating and critical damage, it's just a crazy amount of damage. Alright, now the heavy attack. If the opponent is stunned, attack rating is increased by 1978 for this attack. That is insane. So her base attack is 2015. You can see it up there on the left. So this is basically doubling her damage while the opponent is stunned. So just like you want to fight champions that can bleed, you also want to fight champions that you can stun. Obviously, she can do well against champions that are stun immune, but stunning and bleeds are her 2 main go-tos that give her all of her damage. So yeah, an extra 100% damage. That's crazy, guys. That is so crazy. And yeah, so I'll show you in a second. All right, now blocking. Benefit from up to 1366 block proficiency, selected at random again. A block with 5,542 block proficiency or higher results in a perfect block, reducing incoming damage to 0 and granting 10% maximum power instantly. So basically, when you get a perfect block, you're going to gain some power, and you obviously get a perfect block. So she has pretty good, high block proficiency already, plus this random block proficiency, and this is not even including masteries like physical resistance or block proficiency or perfect block. I think those also come into play here, and I'll show you a short little video. So there we go. First hit, 0 damage. Gain some power, you see at the bottom. Watch again. Gain some power again. And that happened 2 times in a row. And I have noticed that happens more than just my perfect block mastery. So that's really cool. And now I will show you my I will show you the next cool thing. 30% chance for Domino to gain a lucky passive. 25% of Domino's current combo meter is added to this chance. Okay, and we don't know what that does yet. I'll show you in a second. 30% chance for the opponents to suffer an unlucky passive. 25% of opponent's current combo count is added to this chance. Lucky and unlucky lasts for a random duration between 1 and 5 seconds, plus an additional 1.5 seconds for each full bar of power at the time of activation. Skill champions are always unlucky. Tech champions are never unlucky. So basically, 30% chance every time Domino gains a bar of power for her to become lucky, and also for the defender to become unlucky. And obviously, skill champions are always unlucky, and tech champions are never unlucky. Although Stark Spidey, I think there was a bug with him. I don't know if they actually fixed it. And then lucky and unlucky lasts for 1 to 5 seconds, plus 1.5 additional seconds for each water of power at the time of activation. So if you use a special 2, you'll have an additional 3 seconds on top of the 1 to 5 seconds. So somewhere between 4 to 8 seconds. So that's really cool. So what does Unlucky and Lucky do? Lucky increases critical damage, critical rating, ability accuracy, block proficiency, 10% chance to evade, stuns expire 35% faster. Domino is more likely to earn a higher roll when selecting attack rating, critical damage rating, and block proficiency bonuses at random. So all those random things, the attack rating, critical damage that create the perfect hit, perfect critical hit, and then also the block proficiency, which can reduce it to 0. So you have a better chance at getting those, which is really good. And then Unlucky, this happens to the defender. Decreased critical rating, decreased damage rating, critical resistance, ability accuracy, block proficiency, 100% chance for evade or dexterity to fail. Bleed abilities deal 50% less damage. So remember the 15% damage that you get passively. Now if they're unlucky, you get another 35% ability accuracy decrease. So that's a total of 50% ability accuracy reduction when they're unlucky, which is really, really good. I know Magic really isn't as OP as she once was, but this could still come in handy with that, or Juggernaut, or any of those champions that have just those annoying, abilities. Even Medusa and some other champions. So that's really cool. 100% chance for evade or the dexterity mastery to fail. So if you're fighting Spider-Man or Nightcrawler, Spider-Man Classic, you basically make them so they can't evade for while they're unlucky. That's really good. So you really want to make yourself lucky and them unlucky. And now I will show you the synergies. There's just so much to this champion, guys. I'm sorry. Here we go. So with Red Deadpool, 10% damage against champions that aren't female or robots. Meh. Okay. X-Pool. Each time Domino performs a well-timed block, the chance for her to be lucky increases by 10% the next time she fills a bar of power. So if she has a 30% chance already, if you parry like 3 times in a row, it boosts it up to 60%, which is really good. Which kind of makes X-Pool kind of worth it. I know a lot of people are getting him in the 6-star. So now there's kind of like, he might actually be kind of useful. Weapon X Strike Team, so either Old Man Logan or Sabretooth. Each time Domino avoids an attack by dashing back, the chance for her lucky increases by 6%. So it's kind of like X-Pool, where if you time a well-timed block, you get 10%. This is if you evade back, you get 6%. So this could be helpful in times where you have to do a lot of intercepting, like Labyrinth, if you're going to use her in Labyrinth, or Stun Immune Champs, an additional percentage to help get to that lucky, which is really important. Now this is the hype that everyone's talking about, Massacre. You get debuffs last 1 second longer, which is really, really good for damage, first of all, and then also for making stuns last longer. And the reason you want to make stuns last longer is for this next synergy with Red Hulk. So these three are called the Flaming Trinity. So Red Hulk, heavy attacks inflict and incinerate that deals damage equal to the heavy attacks damage over 2 seconds. This is insane, guys. I'll show you a video right now. So here we go. Fighting Winter Soldier again, the usual. So I do a hit 3,000 plus 10,500. That's basically 14,000. So I'm doing 3,500 per tick for 4 ticks. That's the 14,000, right? That is crazy. So she doubles her damage through Incinerate from doing a heavy attack. So this heavy attack was 14,000 plus 4. That's 28,000 heavy attack. That is insane. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And part of that is because, remember, when you stun, you get an additional attack rating. It's just crazy, guys. This one, if Domino never hit with a special attack while both Lucky and Unlucky were active, then she has a 20% chance to activate them during her next fight. Meh. It's okay. If you're doing a lot of fights, I guess. I wouldn't recommend it. All teammates gain 5% power gain. And then with Cable, start the fight with either Lucky or Unlucky active for 7 seconds. Again, not one of the top 5 I would choose. If I was building a team specifically around Domino, definitely get Red Hulk and Massacre, as well as X-Pool, and then maybe even Old Man Logan or Sabretooth to just increase the chance that you can get that lucky and increase that damage. Like I said, guys, she is just insane. And I haven't even got to the specials yet. Her specials are like probably my favorite thing. So here we go. Special 1. Each hit has a 25% chance to bleed, dealing 2175 direct damage over 7 seconds. If Domino is lucky, this attack refreshes all stun and bleed effects on the opponent. Now this is really, really cool. I'll show you a video right now. So I am going to use my special 2, which is already insane damage, and see, he's bleeding, almost 3,000 bleed, which is ridiculous. Now I'm going to throw my special 1. I'm lucky, see that? I hit him with a special 1, that bleed refreshes, and now he's still bleeding, and I'm going to be able to get to another special 1, perfect hit there, able to get to my other special 1, refresh that bleed again, and you'll notice that those bleeds are stacking because there's a 25% chance to get another bleed when you use a special 1. So he was doing 4,500 damage at the end just from bleed. That is insane. Per tick. That is crazy. Now, if the opponent is unlucky, this attack has 395 attack rating for each second that passed since the last time Domino got hit with a special attack this fight. So I'm assuming if you got hit with like a special 1 or a special 2 by accident, then you could kind of wait that out and then use a special 1 to get some damage. I haven't really played with that too much. For special 2, each hit has a 25% chance to inflict bleed, dealing 4,747 direct damage over 7 seconds. If Domino is lucky, this attack has 1978 attack rating if Domino suffered from bleed at least once in this fight. So that could go hand in hand with that that glazed shrug off bleed thing that she has as her passive. So if you're feeling really adventurous and you want to bleed on purpose and hopefully shrug that off, then you can get an extra 2,000 attack rating, which is actually really good. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's possible. If the opponent is unlucky, they're taunted by this flashy attack. Taunted opponents have their attack reduced by 395 and have a 70% higher chance to activate a special attack, so like Stark Spidey or Gold Pool. Alright, special 3. This is where it gets unbelievably insane, guys. So, special attack 3, 74% chance to inflict bleed, dealing 4,747 direct damage over 7 seconds. If Domino is lucky, this attack has 59 attack rating for every critical hit that has occurred this fight by either Domino or her opponent. So, this is overall. This isn't even just a combo. So if you just did 100, assuming you could get up to 100 critical hits, I don't think you could with Domino unless you're in Labyrinth, but that's an extra 5,900, 340 attack rating, which is 300%, almost 300% of her base attack, which is just insane. So if you can keep those critical hits up by being lucky and actually being lucky, then you could actually do some crazy damage with this. If the opponent is unlucky, this attack inflicts armor break, removing 1 armor up and reducing armor by 578 for 4 seconds. Now, I just want to show you how crazy this special 3 can be. It is I still can't even believe it. So I'm going to show you a video. My mind is freaking blown. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to get to that special 3. Notice how I am lucky. So I'm going to get that damage increase, and I'm also going to throw an Incinerate there. But luckily, I just barely have enough stun. There's a very small sliver there, and I'm going to throw my special 3. So I'm getting that lucky damage and that stun damage. And look at this, 71,000 just from the hit. Not even any of the things after that, just the hit. And that wasn't even critical. Now he's bleeding for 14,600, which is with the Incinerate, which is insane. And when you take off the Incinerate, he's still bleeding for 12,800 per tick. And this lasts for 7 seconds. And I'm going to use that special 1. Oh, I wish I was going to use that special 1. I could have used that special 1 to refresh that bleed and increase that for another 7 seconds. So, let me just tell you guys. So, 7 seconds plus refreshing it for another 7 seconds. That's 14 seconds, right? And then also, if you max deep wounds, that's an extra 2.5 seconds times 2 because you refreshed it, right? So that's 5 plus the 14, so that's 19 seconds that this critical bleed is lasting. 19 seconds. And you're doing 12,800 per tick. That's 24,000 damage per second for 38 ticks. Like, can you... I did the math. This is 488,000 damage just from the bleed, not including the incinerate, not including the basic hit or the hit just from the special 3, which wasn't even a crit. That's insane. 400,000 damage. That is unlimited. That is crazy. And if you were able to refresh that bleed again, it'd be even crazier. Guys, I understand the hype now. Like before, I didn't understand why everyone was so hyped about Domino, but her damage output is insane. Crazy stuff, guys. So cool. Man, I have rambled on, and I'm so sorry. I tried my best. Oh man, that's crazy. It just blows my mind every time. Oh, all right. We'll do a quick recap. So, use against non-bleed immune champions, because that's where a lot of her damage comes from, is from bleeds. Although if you pair her up with Red Hulk, you can still do incinerate damage, which is another damage over time buff. Max deep wounds if you can, since she does bleed. Maxify parry and stupefy to get those stuns to last longer, so you can get that added extra 100% damage during the stun. So you want to stun as much as possible. Do specials when you're lucky and the opponent is stunned, because you'll get that extra damage from lucky plus that 100% damage while they're stunned. If you're going to use a lot of synergies, I would use Red Hulk, Massacre, and X-Pool for sure. Maybe throw in Sabretooth or Old Man Logan there if you're building it solely around Domino. Heavy during stuns to get that incinerate damage. It can do a lot of damage. Like I said, that one that I did was, 29,000 damage or something crazy just from a heavy attack. Insane. Special 3. Highly recommend Special 3. A lot of people like her Special 2. And by a lot of people, I mean I've seen a couple people use her Special 2. But her Special 3 has the highest % chance to get a bleed. And then you want to use Special 1s to refresh those crazy insane bleeds. If you are feeling lucky yourself, pun intended, you could use that Special 2, maybe get a critical bleed, and then use 1 or 2 Special 2s after that to refresh the bleeds over and over. Like I said, guys, this champion is so crazy, so insane, and I don't even have her duped, and it's only a rank 1 6-star. I am so excited. I think I'm going to take her to rank 2. It is just insane. So crazy. I'm gonna definitely put out some more videos so you guys can actually see her in action. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Sorry that I'm so long-winded, but there's just so much to talk about this champion. So please like and subscribe, and until later, I will see you next time.